Act now before this hits silver and you're stuck. Consumer debt, credit card debt, it's out of control. And when this happens, we see a massive shift in the price of silver. It happens every time, and it's starting now. If you're on the fence about silver, you need to make your move now. This is from Bloomberg, and it says, banks bet on subprime consumers. Just that headline makes you feel like there's this presence above that are profiting off of the rest of us. Banks bet on subprime consumers, sends credit card balances to a record. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing credit cards just through the roof. And this has been going on for months and months, and there's no sign of this stopping. This article starts by saying balances soared 19% to $866 billion. It is just huge. And when this happens, this is throughout history, we see this. When people go deep in debt, the price of silver is impacted, not gold, because if you're stuck with credit cards and you're trying to pay that monthly fluctuating payment, you're not affording gold. But silver always shows a bump in price. Watch here, check this out. Again, it says balances soared 19% to $866 billion, with average credit lines also climbing to an all-time high, according to data from credit reporting company TransUnion. The jump came after card organizations to subprime consumers climbed more than 12% in previous months. More than 12%. This says credit card interest rates hit their record high. And this is Bloomberg. It says the cost of carrying a balance on your credit card is now the highest it's been in more than 30 years. According to survey data from Bankrate.com, the average credit card interest rate has climbed to 19.4%. Can you imagine having a 19.4% interest rate on a debt? I mean, that is just frightening. And there's no, you can't work that off. I mean, it's just, you can't. And historically, what we see when credit cards shoot up like this, when that debt shoots up for everyday regular people, what we see is that the price of silver gets impacted, because this is the safe store of wealth. This silver I'm holding in my hand, this is a safe store of wealth that is not going to fluctuate in that way, and you're going to have control over it. Let's continue. This says the new high coincides with the Federal Reserve's raising its key federal funds rate, of course, to a level not seen in more than a decade. As it fights persistent inflation, the central bank hopes making it more expensive to borrow will slow the economy and ease upward pressure on prices. But clearly, people still have needed that money in the past, let's say, 12 months, and they still have that credit card debt, and it's continuing to put pressure on the everyday consumer. The credit card debt for these numbers involves regular people like you and me who are just trying to get by. Let's keep going. The article says personal loan interest rates near record gap with credit cards boosting savings. So this is interesting because this talks about personal loan interest rates. And this says the average interest rate on credit cards was 16% last summer, while the average interest rate on personal loans was 10%, according to the latest data. That's a big difference. This marks one of the largest gaps between commercial bank interest rates on credit card plans and 24-month personal loans. And this is according to Fed, right? St. Louis Fed's recorded history. So look at that discrepancy, 16% for credit cards and 10% for personal loans. Now, of course, the personal loan is 24 months. So you need to pay that off in 24 months. So that's pressure, right? When you take out a credit card, if you're a betting person and you're feeling confident, you may feel like you could knock it out in 12 months, or you may accept that it's going to take you 5 years, 7 years, whatever situation you're in. But this is really telling that the credit card companies are really making out hand over fist. And today, as this is happening today, we absolutely see why silver has been spiking. And as this continues, this credit card debt is not going anywhere. As this continues, people are going to turn toward the safe store of wealth. And when that happens, that puts demand on this silver that I'm holding right here, and it pushes that price up. If you are enjoying this video, please hit like, please hit subscribe. It really helps to get this information out there.